Hey everybody, Lenny Fannin again. I don't know, my face always itches whenever I go on live. I think it's because the air is on and sticking with my face. So the last time I spoke a lot about being authentic and what does it mean about showing up as the real you. Have you think about some mindset paradigm shift about showing up on social media, um, and what it means? Well, how do you get followers? How you get people to follow you and to be your real fan. So today I'm actually also going to talk about, how to get anybody to pay attention to your content, especially when you're concerned and worried about, am I being too vulnerable in showing my authentic content, the authentic me, the real me? Right? I think it has crossed our minds many times. I mean, I also have to work through it myself. Like, maybe the certain post that I should have put is, what will people say? How will people feel? Would I lose, followers? Right? Would I damage my reputation? I think it's so common that a lot of us, I mean, I've experienced it to do myself, is that we worry about trying to make a good first impression, especially when we're first starting out, right? We want to show the good side of our lives, our business, our families, ourselves, even. And we are kind of afraid. We fear making this so mediocre impression. We're afraid of losing our audience. We're afraid of losing a reader. And I think this is really prevalent in Asian cultures too. We are very concerned, especially when we're doing business, we're really concerned about our reputation, okay, as a business. Like, sometimes we have nasty comments or maybe some comments that are not so appropriate. We're pretty worried about that. We don't want to leave those kind of things lying around because we're afraid that, yeah, people might not see that we're good enough, or we might lose face, or it doesn't look good on our reputation, basically. But you see, being authentic, okay, and being real, it's not about being negative. It's not about like, oh, I don't want, it's complaining, showing the rants of your life, showing all your dirty laundry, like, yeah, your finances, that, like, how much loan you owe people, or, your husband having a mistress, or, your kids are like, having like addiction to porn. I'm just making it up, but you know what I mean. It's not like I'm asking you out there to show all your dirty stuff, okay, all your dirty laundry. I mean, you can if you want, if it helps people. Remember, at the end of the day, the intention is about helping people and adding value, empowering them, motivating them, helping them to feel like there's hope, right? Okay, but authentic is like, it's really, coming for a space of, it's okay that I don't make a very good first impression, because I know that when I am here and I've learned something and I have thrived through something, I've gained through some experiences, I'm able to share, I'm able to allow other people to know that they're not alone, to know that maybe with my wisdom, with my learning, okay, I can actually help them, to let them know that there's somebody out there who can extend an arm, extend a hand, okay, to walk them through together. And I think that's why I'm also here, because actually all this stuff, I've went through it, I've been through it, and I'm actually even going through it at times that, like, I'm in Asia. Yeah, I have family members around who are very judgmental. And, people will get so offended by what I write, because I tend to be quite open and blunt. And sometimes, yeah, kind of crass and not very appropriate as a business. But I don't really care now. That's just me. I just want to be myself and allow other women to also be themselves. Okay? We want to show up, whether on social media, showing up in real life, when you're doing business, as an act of service. It's not about what, people like likes, attention, throwing freebies, throwing gifts away, giving free giveaway. What if you tag and like people, right? You might get the results, you might get the likes and everything fast, but is it sustainable, right? All the glamorous things, I talked about it last time. Is that sustainable? What is your intention? Where are you coming from? Rather, I want you to think, what can you give to other people? What can you give to your followers? Wisdom from life experiences, inspiration from your triumphs, from your wins, your celebrations, your failures. Okay, your failures. What have you learned that you can transform and impact the lives of others? I want you to also downplay your ego. Okay, downplay your ego about like it's all about me looking good and I want to look good to the rest of the world. Rather, step forward with your authentic story, okay, to build an authentic platform to serve your digital audience. And this is really coming from the space of social media. I'm not asking you to be a saint, okay? You are a human being just like your audience. You're a human being with the whole package of the strengths and weaknesses, as you call it, your quirks, your personality, your nuances, the shadows, everything. You are a human being. You're a being, BE-ing, okay? You have glorious flaws, enduring quirks, relatable failures that other people can relate to, resonate with. You have your unique style, your unique energy, and your one-of-a-kind, distinctive perspective. The more you show what a human being you are, your humanity, the more magnetic you become. See, at the end of the day, people do business with people. People do business with people that they know, like, and trust. And people do business with people that understands them. People want to feel like, I felt understood. You understand me. When you understand me, we click. And when we click, the trust is built. Is there a higher chance that I'll do business with you? Absolutely, because I feel understood by you. Okay, so we see a lot of influencer marketing that even now I'm taking a course on digital transformation, and one of the biggest strategies that they always teach is hire an influencer, get an influencer who has a big, huge following, leverage on the following or his following, pay them some money, and then promote your business or your service or your business or your products. I don't know. Personally, I feel a little like, and I don't really resonate with that. I don't really buy that because I feel that it's a lot of self-promotion. It's like, yeah, look at the influencer and look at the products. It's all nice package. And I don't know. I just find that it's nice to look at, but what else? What is next? It's kind of feels a little superficial for me. Okay, that's me. I'm not saying there's anything wrong, but I'm just thinking that let's look at the influencer marketing standpoint. Is this something that is sustainable? Getting an influencer to market your product or your service, does it speak to who you are? Does it show who you are as a person? Why are you hiding behind the influencer? Yeah, maybe the influencer can get you reach fast. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with doing that, but we want to have a sustainable brand. We want to have loyal fans. We want to have loyal customers. We want people who are our tribe that we click and we just be ourselves. Okay. Here's some coaching guidelines. I'm going to do a little bit of coaching, putting on a coaching hat. Okay. It's about your worthiness. Okay. Believe that you are here. Okay. You're here in your business, doing whatever you're doing. Okay, whether you're coaching, whether you're providing a service, whether you're selling a product, believe you're here to do something that is worth it. You are worthy. You're worthy of your presence, of your gifts, of what you're providing to other people. What you are here to say is worth saying. What you're here to give is worth giving. Okay, remember that you're here because you're worth it, whether you say, you do, or what you give. This is really what I mean by authentic value-based messaging. Okay. Now, there is always that question. It's like, oh, who am I? I'm a small fry. I just started out. Who's going to listen to me? Who am I to promote myself? Right? Why would anybody care about what I have to say? Or I hear a lot of women say, I don't know this enough. I need to learn more. I am not an expert. I'm not a guru, so I cannot share. Or maybe it's like, oh, I'm not ready. I don't have enough experiences. I don't have the certification, so I'm not good enough, or I'm not ready. Okay, I'm actually, a lot of times people say I'm not ready. It deep down inside means that I'm not good enough, or I don't know enough. You know, there's this whole imposter syndrome coming out in our head. Okay, but my question to you is, and a little bit of coaching again, and I'm gonna call a spade, and I'm gonna have some real talk. Why not share your message? Okay. I went through that too. In fact, I recently went through all the self-doubts and self-adequacy issues that, oh, I even question myself if I could be a fluke, or I could be a fraud because don't have enough experience, unlike some other people. But I'm shifting to it. I'm actually walking through it. That's why I'm like talking to you about this. Is nobody, including I'm talking to myself too, nobody has your value and your uniqueness. Okay, we all have our unique upbringing. We have our education, you know, from a young child, how we learn, what we, what we get in our childhood days, education not only from school but from life, the career that we have taken upon when we were growing up after we finished college, our unique relationships, whether you're married, you're not married, or whatever it could be. Okay, our perception, all our life experiences are all really different. Our triumphs, our failures, our lessons, our learnings, our perspective, all of that stuff is so unique. Human beings are complex. We all have such complex makeup. Our so many factors that come into play are just so complex and so different. Okay, nobody have the same two things on this planet. Someone out there, or many people out there, I bet you, even in my last video, I bet you somebody out there, and many people out there, not just one or two, but many more out there who need your message and they just don't know it yet. Okay, whatever you're selling, whatever you're promoting, whatever your message is, whatever your business is, someone out there, they want to know it, they want to hear it. Okay, they just don't know it yet. So when you first start out a business, okay, when you first start out, or maybe when you're in it for a while, and the common concern is, I don't have a big following, I don't have a big audience, I have a small audience. Would that put me at a disadvantage? I used to think so, because our guideline, our framework is about having a lot of traffic, getting a lot of followers. Algorithms likes that. That's our goal. But like we always learn in business, and one thing we always talk about it, okay, there's not one way to success in business. It doesn't mean that it's only step 1, 2, 3. This is the framework. This is a blueprint to be successful in business, as that's the only way you can be successful. That's not true. There's many ways to be successful, and there's many ways to do it. Okay, so if you have a small following and you're like, oh, how am I gonna keep up with those big giants, the big experts, the big guys, the top thought leaders, the known people? As a matter of fact, when you have a smaller audience, you have an advantage. Okay, you actually have an advantage in the sense that you are more relatable. Okay, when you have a big audience, it's like almost you cannot control who is following you, who's ever seeing what you're doing. And when you're a small audience, whenever you show up, it reaches a lot. It reaches, your audience will see what you post. You're more relatable. Okay, your audience will resonate because, when you're first starting out, you're just a few stages, a few steps ahead of them. So when you share authentically your stage, Okay, you share authentically, you know, like maybe I'm 5 steps ahead, but I share the 5 steps that I have done. You document your learnings, your experiences. It resonates with people much more. So for example, like if I'm going to compare myself with like, you know, like Brene Brown or like the, you know, or Tony Robbins, like I might, we don't relate because they've been doing it for so many years, right? But perhaps if I talk to another woman coach who just are starting out or who is just considering like starting a business, I'm just a few steps ahead. Okay, what I'm sharing is something that she can relate because we're kind of in that same phase. It's just that I done it a few steps ahead of you. Okay, and because of my stage and when I show up and share authentically, okay, the trust, that relationship, that resonance will be a lot stronger and it will stick out. Okay, compared to, you know, Gary Vaynerchuk or Tony Robbins or the thought leaders and what they share, because we're inspired by them. We would like to be like them, but they're just like 10,000 steps ahead of us. Like we always feel like there's that gap, right? And in any industry, any market, there's actually a lot more beginners than experts. As you think of it, it's like kind of like a pyramid, right? There are a lot more there are a lot more beginners. So like if you're new into coaching, for example, there are a lot more beginner coaches out there than, you know, the big names, the thought leaders like Tony Robbins or Brandon Burchard. They've been doing it for years. So as a matter of fact, your content and where you are will touch a lot more people and will resonate with a lot more people who are beginners, okay, than they're experts. Okay, so I mean, I'm not saying that I have a really big following. I'm growing my following, I'm growing my audience as well, right? But my content probably touch a lot more people who are starting out in businesses, who are starting out about wanting to build a business and want to, you know, get like want to be a coach or whatever it could be. It's going to touch them a lot more than somebody who's been around for a long time. Another thing too is that when you are first starting building up your audience, right? Let's say you only have like, well, I'm not saying only, but you know what I mean? If you have like 1,000 followers and you get some messages on your Instagram or on your Facebook group or on your comments, you're a lot more accessible to them. You know, you have the bandwidth, you have the time and space to reply to them and personally connect. Okay, connect with them on the comments, on the messages. You know, can you imagine if you comment on like Tony Robbins, you know, social media? He probably doesn't have time to even see your comment. Or maybe somebody who's manning his social media, you know, it's not even Tony Robbins himself. It's, you know, he's a lot more, he's definitely not accessible because he has a big following. He's a thought leader. He doesn't have time to talk to everybody. It's part of parcel of it. When you have a really big following, you don't have time for every single person to you don't have the time to interact with every single person. So when you first start out, it's actually a good thing. You're a lot more accessible. And it's so nice and heartwarming. And you feel special when, let's say, the person replies back to you. You make a comment or you ask a question, and a person actually replies and connects with you. And you know, get a reply, connects with you, and touches base with you. You know, everybody, we all want to be heard. We want to feel heard and cared for. Okay, so when you're starting out, you can absolutely do that. You know, it's a lot more personable. You know, people see that, hey, you're more of a friend than you're just like a guru or an expert. You know, sometimes when like we see like, oh, this person is like an expert, we kind of feel that's the disparity, and then there's a little gap. When you're first starting out, you know, you feel like, hey, she's just like my friend, she's just like me. The trust is there. You feel relatable. Okay, and you can give them the time of the day. How loving and heartwarming that is. So stop copying other people, expert, thought leader, guru, you know, the influencer of your industry, of your market. Okay, start being authentic, being yourself, being who you are. Okay, let your authentic style to shine through, because there's somebody out there, or more than one person out there, waiting to hear from you, to see your comment, to see your post, and waiting to link arms and connect with you. So at the end of the day, that's a takeaway. Okay, so personally, when I have to go through this learning, I find that very comforting, because a lot of times it's like, oh, when will I ever get there? But with this paradigm shift, you realize that actually, having a smaller audience when first starting out and just really being you, it's just so liberating. It's just so comforting. It's just so, it doesn't feel so daunting and overwhelming. You can absolutely have so much joy and so much flow and so much freedom in your business, just being yourself and being to build solid, deep relationships with the people of your tribe that click and resonate with you. Okay? Reach out to me if you have any questions. I would love to have conversations with you. I don't have a big following yet. I'm just kidding. But really, just reach out to me if you have any questions, or if something I can help you with, or let's have a talk. It doesn't have to be all about business and professional. I actually really enjoy talking about everything about life rather than just business only. We're just we're all interesting people, and we are very multifaceted as well. All right, you guys, have a good one, and I'll see you guys soon for the next Facebook Live in the next week. Take care, everybody. TGIF. Good Friday and good weekend to you.